9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Gavin, we're live. We're live now, actually. We're excited to be here. Kendrick Perkins, Richard Jefferson. Channing Frye is currently working another show, Handles, and so he might be jumping in if he is done in time. Having said that, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, is officially still never been swept in the postseason. You heard him just say that. However, it was close. We're going to show you an element that we're going to actually continue to look throughout the show that we have capabilities of. So, and I'll let you, Perk, go in on this because there's actually a positive to Anthony Edwards. And then there's this right here, which I just mentioned to you, down the stretch, Luka being Luka. This was close.
Yeah, look, Anthony Edwards, he cannot foul in that situation. I don't even know if it was right for him to be picking up that high. But again, you have to give a lot of credit to Luka for fucking having the IQ and knowing that he was just like on that flight, I'm going to just pull up. Nobody knew he was going to take that shot. I didn't expect him to take this. I'm not giving
you
Anthony
weren't expecting that?
Huh?
You weren't expecting that?
I didn't. I didn't expect that, I swear. But Ant-Man shouldn't have been picking up that high. But I get it. He was in the moment or whatever, but he cannot do that shit.
Oh, okay. I got to say this. The Minnesota Timberwolves got to be one of the dumbest, smartest teams you've ever seen. The amount of nobody on the court is dumb. They just made a lot of dumb plays. Like, if you know you're in foul trouble, if you're Cat, why are you sticking your arm out at half court in the first quarter for whatever? Like the pump fake, okay, you get it on the pump fake. The whole world knows that you are susceptible to charges. So you pump fake, which you live at the top of the key. You live at the top of the key. Every time you pump fake, it's hard right-hand drive and you're out of control, right? You might make a couple, but we're going to get one charge on you a night. And you just watch them and it's like the silly fouls that go on at crucial moments and crucial times. You want to give them all the credit. Shout out them. This looked more like the series I thought. And we're going to get in more of my guy, Rudy Gobert. We'll get more into Rudy here in a second. But Rudy made big plays. Rudy made big plays down the stretch, good defensive plays. My thing is this, if Ant and Cat play the way they're supposed to, there's less pressure on Rudy. Like there's less pressure on Rudy. And I know he's a defensive player of the year, but my point is more of like, if those guys play at an elite level, then Rudy can do what he's supposed to. If those dudes are playing like trash, which they have, we even have that graphic from where he was hot, where he wasn't hot, Karl-Anthony Towns. So that's my biggest argument.
Well, RJ, let me ask you this. Do you believe that Cats can make those same shots on a consistent basis? Like those were tough contested threes that he hit. Like one was short corner by Anthony Edwards. Do you think he can make those consistently? Because I don't. And I think Dallas is like, oh, we're going to live with these shots. Because to be honest with you, it's nowhere for them to attack. And it was like, here's the thing. I'm not about to sit up here and pound on Rudy. Like, I already got on his ass early this morning. I'm not about to do this tonight, okay? I'm not about to do this. But here's
you want to clarify that? You're not going to pound on Rudy. You already got on his ass tonight.
I said I'm not about to get on his ass tonight.
I just want to be clear.
Here's
do not disturb for the 19th time, bro.
Just listen. Here's the thing. What I'm saying is that it's too many times that he's getting in the way offensively, right? Did he do some things well tonight? Absolutely. But we had two examples. Out of timeouts, okay? They come out of a timeout, they get a missed floater by Rudy in the paint. I'm like, I know it ain't nowhere in hell they drew it up in the timeout. Come again out of a timeout. They run that same big-to-big pick and roll. You would think they would stop running that shit by now because Dallas knows how to play it, right? But they run it again, And then what happened? It ends up with Rudy on the low block because he wouldn't move. He wanted to post up Luka.
I saw that one. He got mad. He got mad when they didn't throw him the rock that one time. And I'm like, man.
But this one, he went to the free throw line and missed 2 free throws, okay? That's like a turnover. Then on the other side, Anthony Edwards was trying to get the isolation on the wing. This is the one that you're talking about. Rudy was on the block, like calling for it. And that, like, move out the way. And I'm like, yes, take your big ass to the opposite side for the dunker spot. Now, they end up getting a Karl-Anthony Towns 3 out of that play.
Yeah. Because after Kyle Anderson set that flare screen.
Yeah, and he's been huge. Yeah. But Anthony Edwards, let me say this. I think because Dallas have been, beating the brakes off of them in this series, Anthony Edwards, we really haven't given Anthony Edwards the proper respect for his playmaking. Like, we've been seeing growth. We've been seeing a lot of growth out of Anthony Edwards as far as his facilitating for others.
I mean, Perk here in game 4, assist away from a triple-double.
That's what I'm saying.
29, 10, and 9 for this series, just this series alone. And I know you're talking about the entire postseason, but for this series alone, he's averaging over 8 dimes a game. He's got 33 through 4 games now. I mean, 21, 26, 29.
But wait a second. And again, first of all, let's also look at, we're talking tremendously about Rudy. And this is after their team took down the 3 out of 4 MVP in Jokic, right? Jokic was just okay in game 6. He was 7. He was solid in 7, right? But nobody else got involved. Nobody else got involved in 7 for Denver. But let's look at the bench. Naz Reid, only 6 points. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, only 6 points. Jaden McDaniels, 10 points. Like, a lot of these dudes were having big games in every single – there was 2 or 3 of them that were having big games in the Phoenix series. They were having big games in the Denver series. And that is lessened. And what's made it even worse is now all of a sudden you got Karl and Anthony Edwards not doing they're not playing at their level, and their supporting cast has lowered their level. That's one thing that I have noticed. Even defensively, we were sitting up here touting them so much. We have touted them like this when they played the way in Phoenix and they played those 2 games in Denver, and we're like, yo, this is one of the best defensive teams we've ever seen. They got front line, they got back line depth, they have bench depth. And then they came out in these first 2 games, and then they were back down again. And so it's been a roller coaster for these guys nonstop. And at this point in time, I don't know which Timberwolves we're going to get. And that's not something that we have said about them often.
Well, I'm going to fucking tell you what Timberwolves you're going to get. I know one thing. We're going to get a game 6 back in Dallas. Minnesota winning.
Oh, you got many winning game 5?
I believe that.
Minnesota winning game 5, Allie.
Okay.
RJ. Yeah, Minnesota is winning game 5. You know what I saw tonight? I saw Anthony Edwards get his swagger back. And I'm glad he was mic'd up because I was able to listen to him, whether it was holding his teammates accountable, encouraging his teammates. Don't we have another clip available?
We do.
Now,
yeah. This is what I'm saying. You had some good from Ant, and then you had that moment, obviously, down the stretch, but this one here of him closing out on PJ Washington.
Let's pull it up. But Liam Nelson talking about Naz Reid was literally 7 for 9.
Look, RJ, help. Look at that closeout, bro. Look at that closeout to force that turnover. That was like coaches starting the film session off with that. Mm-hmm. Starting in, getting out, closing out under control, not giving up middle, and then active hands deflections, forcing a turnover at that point. That was huge. Look, I'm aware, I'm alert, I'm making Kyrie look, playing the crowd, close out with my stick hand, forced turnover. Look at the pass.
Show it again. Show that play one more time. Watch Rudy. He's dropping. He's moving them puppies. Look, Kyrie see him. He got to go someplace else. I am on the Rudy bandwagon.
We know.
I'm not on the Rudy bandwagon from the standpoint of I think he's been dominant. I think that he deserves criticism at a level 4, and we're giving him criticism at a level 7. That is what I am saying about Rudy, because we want to break him down. We could break down everyone. But Liam Nelson, he said Naz Reid literally was 7 for 9 in game 3. Yes, to your point, Liam, they lost that game. So he was 7 for 9 from 3. And the reason why they lost that game was not because Rudy hits that step back, because because Luka hits that step back. They lose that game because Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards gave him dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me actually, let's add some perspective. Ethan also, where's the Frye guy? His name is Channing. He's doing handles. If you're just joining right now.
Yeah.
We got a lot of jobs, y'all.
Yeah.
So like Perk is with the family. Perk gonna be here with us. But Allie,
I hope that's okay.
Yeah. Allie calls games for the Lakers. She does Dodgers hosting. She does Lakers hosting. Perk got 92 jobs at ESPN. He got a lot of hustles. I got like 7 jobs, and I keep creating more jobs for my fucking shelves. Shout out the Richard and Larry show. So we're gonna have a rotating cast, y'all. Okay, and we're gonna drop in some more people, but we appreciate you guys checking us out.
I mean, we all jack of all trades. We get it in. You know what I'm saying?
Don't nobody know
Ayo, do we get it in? Just kidding. That's for another edition. Having said that, okay, so a couple of points here that I want to bring up. We can go. I asked you guys the adjustments last night, and everyone except Perk laughed at me. Channing and Rich both laughed at me and said that there were no adjustments, that Minnesota was going to Cancun, blah, blah, blah. And then Perk continued to say, answer Allie's question. So I do want to ask you from this standpoint too, because as the guys were talking about it on the broadcast, when you look at the stars, Luka and Kyrie have pretty much owned this series, right? And we'll get into that point made because we were on Cat coming into game 4 as well a lot last night. Tonight, a much different story with Ant and Karl-Anthony Towns. As I mentioned, Ant had 29. Karl-Anthony Towns added 25. By the way, 20 of his 25 were in the second half in major foul trouble. Having said that, the adjustment, did you guys see it take an effect? Because Kyrie and Luka combined for 46. Kyrie with just 16. Of putting Jaden McDaniels on Kyrie and switching Ant to Luka. Did you see that play a big part?
I did. First of all, RJ, did you got a fresh shave? Like you just ate it?
No. I was trying to put the kids down. We got these lights.
I just asked.
Look, don't get me wrong. This brown skin definitely glistens, right? When the lights hit it. You know what I'm saying? Like you playing hide and go seek in the dark.
No. I look slimming in this type of light. Okay, I look slimming. But look, here's the thing, Allie. Here's the thing. To your question.
Yeah,
yes, it did play a huge role. And let me tell you why. I'd rather Anthony Edwards guarding Luka Doncic than Kyrie Irving. Because I feel like the pace that Luka plays at helps Anthony Edwards. That's why we saw in the fourth quarter he had his legs. He was still attacking. He had the lift on his jump shots. You know, he was able to still look fresh in the fourth quarter. Kyrie Irving just a different animal to be chasing around. I'm not saying that Luka is not a challenge, but I think Anthony Edwards have the physical strength to be able to hold up. Now, Luka is going to be Luka still, but at the end of the day, I like that matchup. And look, Kyrie went 6 for 18. He went 6 for 18 tonight. So I'm not saying he's going to do that. I'm not saying he's going to do it again, but first of all, it's about damn time they fucking make an adjustment. The way, like, you're on the verge of getting swept, and all of a sudden, we're going to make an adjustment. And it was a small adjustment, but it was huge. Okay,
so I'm going to give you guys a little history lesson, a little basketball lesson, a lot of basketball knowledge here on this pod. Perk, oh, my God. If there weren't kids in here, Perk, I'll need your energy. Okay, so here, stay with me. So it was just your energy is ugly, right? So hear me out. So we were finals my second year. So Perk knows this. Old NBA, like 2010, 2012, it was you guard your position. Guard your position. We might match up for foul trouble. We might switch. You guard your position. So we get into the NBA finals and we're playing against San Antonio. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Bruce Bowen, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. We guard our position. Game 1 of that series, Jason Kidd, we put him on Tony Parker. Now the pace that Tony plays with and all the running around, little Tony, he a Hall of Famer. Tony was just fast and quick.
Yeah.
We put Jason Kidd on him. We put Kerry Kittles on Bruce Bowen, right? Because you guard your position. And Jay Kidd wants that challenge. He's our guy. but Jason Kidd also had the offensive responsibilities of making our engine run. He was the guy that made our engine run. So we're having him chase around Tony Parker, and we're making him run and pace us on offense. So what we did, we took Jason Kidd off of Tony Parker, put him on Bruce Bowen. So Jason Kidd was pretty much just resting on defense and playing free safety, and that changed the series for us. So we took off our best defender and our guy that we need to depend on for some offensive flow. We told Kerry Kittles, you go chase Tony Parker around. Jason Kidd, you go guard Bruce Brown, who's going to stand the sideline. And that helped get us back into the series. We ended up tying it 2-2. So my point is, yes, you can make that defensive adjustment, get the pace in which you play. I think Ant would be better off with that pace of Luka. It's steady. You full court press him when you feel like you got energy. You give him space when you need a moment to rest. Kyrie, he's an Indy car. He's that's a NASCAR. That man that's a whole monster. So I love the adjustment that they made. I just was a little afraid because Ant wanted that smoke. I didn't want him running away from that smoke.
Are you surprised that Ant? I guess I don't know how to. Are you surprised that he listens to all the noise? Or do you think he loves to listen to that, use it as motivation?
I think you know what? I think he embraced that noise. I'm gonna say this, Allie. Rondo and I, when we were young, like young bucks, wet behind the damn ears, okay? KG was out, okay, in 2008, 2009, the season after we won the championship. He was out with a knee injury. And Rondo and I were like really on, the other two type shit, like balling. Like I was one coach's vote away. The only time I ever had a chance to make the All-Star game, I was one vote away. At the All-Star break, back then I was averaging like 15 and 11, right? Al Horford beat me out from Atlanta. So we're balling. Me and Rondo doing our thing. Paul and Ray taking the back seat. I'm like, okay, cool. We have a bad game. KG come in and he like, hey, I need to holler at you two motherfuckers. We like, man, we just lost one game, bro. It ain't that bad. Like, we just went on the 7-game winning streak. You tripping. He like, nah, there's some real advice right here. Some real shit you got to listen to. He was like, just like y'all rush home, because, we didn't have social media at the time. He was like, just like y'all rush home to watch yourself on the tube, and when y'all have a good game, make sure y'all keep that same energy when y'all have a bad game. He like, use that as fuel. Don't take it personal. It's part of the process. And let me see how y'all go bounce back. And it was real. It was real. That's what, when I look at Anthony Edwards, that's what I see about him. That's what I notice about him. Like a lot of people were making, fun of him because he answered a joke. I think it was after game 3. I think the Hall of Famer Mark Spears, our guy, he asked him a question about, do you feel like the sky is falling, right? And he was like, nah, I don't feel like. I done been through way worse, and he has, right? If you go look at Anthony Edwards' story, this shit ain't nothing to him. But he just have that old school mentality. He's not going to go comment like Kevin Durant under his people criticizing him, but he sees it all, and he uses it as motivation to get better. Also, one last thing.
I agree.
One last thing, I'm done. RJ, you could say what you got to say. Another thing that I feel like we need to point out, Anthony Edwards on several occasions have gave a lot of credit to Steve Kerr and how he picked Steve Kerr's brain when they were down there with the Olympic team. And how Steve Kerr was telling them, like, basically how hard Steph Curry worked. And Anthony Edwards was like, I'm not doing enough. And I think, like, watching him grow this season and this postseason, I think that went a long way with him.
Now, Perk, to another level, right? To another level. And this is why the progression has been key for Kobe, for Bron, for Kobe Bryant. I'm trying to think of, there was one other player that I had in my mind, but this is the point. You get MJ. He's gotten to this point because he's done more work with his body and conditioning, because they were like, you're not working hard enough. Now he's here and he's like, I'm tired. So in his brain, hopefully he's like, oh, I have another gear to go to. I got another level that I got to go to. If I went from like a 6 work thinking that I was doing something at 19 because I'm so physically gifted, and I put it up to an 8.8 and I think I'm doing something, you got a whole nother gear. Because when you think about the conditioning that Steph and these dudes run around with, it's next level. No, I don't mind Ant running his mouth and doing all the things that he's supposed to do, because that's what makes it fun. That's what makes the game fun. And he's a respectful competitor. He's a respectful competitor with his approach to it. But that's what we're supposed to do. Like, he wasn't talking trash. He's giving people flowers and saying, I want to go at him. Kudos to him, bro. Kudos to him. Nothing but support.
Can we talk about Cat's game?
No, I'm still mad at Cat. I'm still mad at Cat. I'm still mad.
Why? Okay, so that means we're going to talk about it. So while Rich is talking, can we, Richie, pull up the shot chart? Because we went to town on Cat last night for obviously how things have gone going into game 4. He was 15 of 54 from the field, including 3 of 22 from downtown. As I mentioned, finished with 25. He didn't even attempt a 3 in the first half. He finished with 25, just 5 points on 2 of 3 in the first half. Finished with 25, 9 of 13, 4 of 5 from deep, 5 rebounds. He was a plus 18 in 29 minutes. What version did you get from Cat? And this, by the way, was on 4 fouls, essentially. He had 3 in the first half.
Another adjustment by Coach Finch and his coaching staff. You know what I noticed? I hate when Karl-Anthony Towns have to get the basketball in the corner and make a move to the basket, but I love when he's catching the ball at the high post or at the top of the 3-point line, at the top of the key, because now he's able to get downhill and get into his bag more. Fix your fucking face.
This is where he gets his charges. That's where he gets out of control and gets his
charges. But he had some nice finishes at the basket from the top of the key, right? And I think Karl-Anthony Towns, I would love to see him be more of a screener, right? Like more than like the isolation and waiting for the ball to hit his hands to make a move, off the dribble. I would like to see him more of a screen guy. I think that's the growth. If you want to talk about like Anthony Davis this year, Anthony Davis set a lot of ball screens and he benefited from it. Like, he mixed it up. Now, obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be popping a lot because they would not take Rudy off the floor. We understand that. But if he happened to play the 5, I would love to see Karl-Anthony Towns being involved in a lot more screen and roll action to the basket. But he was phenomenal tonight. Except for those dumbass fouls he had in the first half is the reason he fouled out. Other than that, Rich, you can't say nothing negative about that.
Hold, please. I want to give you guys this because this is part of being live right now. And this is part of the smoke that Ant Edwards showed us in the Denver series last series. Tim McMahon just tweeting that Cowboys pass rusher Micah Parsons wore a Luka Doncic jersey and Anthony Edwards signature Adidas while sitting courtside. And Ant said, I told him I'll bring him some new ones when we come back for game 6. They're 0-55. 0-155 being down 0-3. Is there a chance?
There's always a chance. There's always a chance. And there's 16, was it 6 or 7 teams that have forced a game 7, correct? Out of this, number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so really quickly, to your point, I'm not here to criticize Karl-Anthony Towns' game, right? Like, he's a 7-footer that can shoot. He's versatile. He's got a little, he's an all-NBA player. Probably a future Hall of Famer. We're not going to disrespect his game, but we can disrespect his decision-making consistently. This has been his issue all season long. It's like watching Jaren Jackson Jr. It's like watching guys that consistently make low basketball IQ fouls consistently. So yes, they won this game. He played 30 minutes and had 25 points. If he would have, in my opinion, if he would have avoided 2 of these fouls, they would have won by 8 or 9. If he gets these 2 fouls, maybe they lose by 2. So that's what I'm saying. When we don't know what we're going to get from them is because we consistently see inconsistencies. It's not that he can't score. He hadn't shot the ball well in the first couple of games. He was dealing with foul trouble. But even in this game, he tried to hamstring himself. He played 30 minutes in an elimination game with sick and fouled out. And all of the fouls were like, I won't say all, but like half of the fouls were just like, bro, this is not an experienced all-star player doing this consistently. That is so I'm not here to criticize his game. I'm here to criticize some of the decisions he makes and when he makes them, because that's consistent.
No, I'm with you. You. And look, Allie, Minnesota can come out. What's the record? 0-155.
155, being down 0-3.
Well, look, Minnesota can come back and win this game. This series. Let me explain why. Didn't we just watch the Miami Heat almost smoke a series? The Boston Celtics were a Jason Tatum ankle sprain away from probably completing that mission. Let's be real.
Same with Kyrie, probably an ankle sprain away.
Okay, so
Brooklyn.
So listen, here's the thing. Luka is not 100%, right? Now it's you go 1-1-1, right? 1-1-1. One in Minnesota, one in Dallas, one back in Minnesota if it goes to Game 7. That's a plane ride. How long is that plane ride? Probably about 2.5, 3 hours. Okay, so now I'm thinking about, some swelling in the knee. You know what I mean? The recovery time. I'm just saying. I got Minnesota winning game. Look, I got Minnesota winning Game 5. They still young now. You know that crowd is going to be fired up. You know the message on the plane is, look, we got to protect home. We done already dropped 2. We got to protect home. Love when Anthony. Huh?
Go ahead. I was talking. Somebody was like jinxing injuries is crazy. No one's jinxing.
Nobody jinxing.
No, that's what I'm just telling. Listen, I got your back. Shut up for a second.
Oh.
What I'm saying, what he is trying to express to y'all is when we travel, there is like when you have inflammation.
It's called science.
It's called science. Like you have inflammation and then you have to sit in a space. You're not laying down. So it's like when they tell you after surgery, you shouldn't fly. It's very similar when you have an injury because you're swelling, the pressure, it's not good on your body. And so that's what he's saying. He's saying you go back and now you got to start making these flights. Luka looks better, in my opinion. I think they would have looked worse if they would have gone to Game 7 because that would have been more wear and tear. They had got a couple days more rest than Minnesota. Minnesota had that emotional roller coaster, and then they were just off to a slow start. This is the first game that I think Minnesota is going to win. This is the first time that I thought Minnesota is going. I'm saying this is the first game, Game 6. Game 5. Game 5. No, we're in Game 6.
No, Game 5. We're going to Game 5.
Game 5 is the first game that I'm going to go into that game saying that I believe Minnesota will win.
Is there a point to thinking too that it's taken Minnesota a second because of the 7-game series versus Denver, and now you're here in this series playing every other day?
Hell yeah. And it's not an excuse, but
right.
But
it's real.
When you come out of a emotional game, like 7-game series like they had against the Denver Nuggets, it takes a while. If you've never experienced something like that, you don't know what to expect. Like emotionally, you're drained. Think about the highs and lows of that series. They went up 2 games in Denver. Then they dropped 3 games in a row, right? Mm-hmm. Then they won Game 6 in great fashion. They were down 20 points in Denver, had to scratch and crawl their way back to winning that game. And then all of a sudden you land at home and it's like, turn the switch. Now you're going against a 2-headed monster who is the most dangerous duo in the league, right? One of the most talented backcourts in the league. And now you got to switch to a whole nother gear. I'm not making excuses for them, but I'm saying it's a real thing.
People so this is one of the things that I think we as players struggle with communicating if you've never been there. Allie remembers at the beginning of the postseason, I was getting heat because I said the team that loses has the advantage. And people are like, what are you talking about? What?
Who took up?
Because you've been in multiple 7-game series.
But you know how much they took out of me to take up for you publicly?
You literally publicly told him to shut up on live television because it was your turn to defend him.
Yeah. No, but my thing is people don't understand when you lose a game, you're going to make adjustments. And sometimes if you're the better team, you're the better team. But imagine trying to fix a plane while it's in the air. So if all of a sudden in the second quarter, the coach is bringing in a different lineup, he's bringing in the bigs, he's taking out. Now all of a sudden, you don't know what they're going to do. You might anticipate it. You might talk about it. But I think those adjustments are something that takes a moment. And that's where coaches like Doc Rivers, there's other coaches that have been criticized for their in-game adjustments. That means once they recognize what the other team is doing in game 2 of the series, they're not adjusting to it quick enough, and it costs them the game and potentially can cost them the series. Yes, the better team is the better team. But I like the adjustment that the Minnesota Timberwolves have made. I thought it's been consistent. Dallas, look, you give them credit. Dallas has played great. I still stand by that the two best players that have playing the best in this series are still on the Dallas Mavericks. I think their bigs have outperformed the Minnesota bigs consistently, right? Consistently, just had more of an impact in their role. That's
numbers wise they have too. Yeah.
Can I ask y'all a question?
I guess we're here. You got like 5 more minutes.
Let me play host for a minute because I want to ask Allie and Richard a question. So here's the thing, Allie, I'm coming to you.
Oh, Jesus.
The sideline, right? We've been giving a lot of credit to J. Kidd. Am I the only one that thought he messed up tonight when he should have left fucking Hardy in the game?
Hardy was balling.
Oh, balling. Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's one of those things where a player gives you a great 10 minutes, and then you give him 15, and you're like, oh. Then it's like 2 turnovers. I'm not. But Hardy's been playing great. When he took off, went going left, and I think it was the first half, second half. He took off going to his left and finished out with 2 minutes. I didn't know he had that in him.
Yeah, I want to look at his numbers.
I know I got it.
5 of 8. 13 points, 3 of 4 from deep.
Yeah.
And defensively, he was picking up.
He was cooking. He was cooking. But
there was nobody that got minutes. When I say it's like Hardy played 12, Josh Green played 17, Kleba played 13. So there wasn't anybody that really.
Let's be honest. You know who was missed?
Derek Lively.
Derek Lively.
Yeah.
Derek Lively. Like, let's not forget. God bless you.
But he was missed. But look at Gafford played 12, had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, big blocks. So it was like he was holding down the fort. Lively was definitely missed. But Gafford gave them great minutes. He played 31 minutes.
Let me say this. Let me ask y'all this. Do you see the difference between Daniel Gafford blocks and Rudy blocks? Daniel Gafford blocks are like, when you're watching the TV, you like, fuck. Oh, like it's intimidating. Yeah, but it's with force, dog. Like, it's like, get that shit out of here type force. That's all I'm saying. Just going back to Rudy. Like, I just want to see 1 or 2 of those. That's all. But then here's another question. Coach Finch on crutches. Usually he's sitting down. Today he was
standing up today. He was out there hobbling around like, fuck this. I'm going to go get it. Did he get a technical today? He got a technical today, didn't he?
He said, I'm here. Give me the clipboard. I'm here.
Yeah. I'm standing up. I'm limping. I respect that. I respect that you want your guys to know. And like, you understand he's hobbled. Uncensored Perk is not what the world needs. Trust me. I talk to him a lot off camera. Like, the fact that both of us have kept our jobs, but especially him.
I actually disagree, Sunnyside, because I think it's the best version of Perk.
Yeah.
No, but it was crucial. We don't know what's up with Derek Lively. It's a quick turnaround.
I got you. Allie LaForce gave it to us.
Give it to us, Allie.
If there was a game 5, possibly available, no concussion, moving well during his warm up and workout today. That's the latest on him.
I still got Minnesota winning game 5. And Dallas
closing out in 6.
Yeah, they better close out in 6. They don't have a choice. Well, look, let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all a question. If you're Boston, look, right now it looks like they're gonna play the Mavs, but Minnesota got life. They still got home court advantage. A game 7 could still be on their home court Anything could
all
happen.
this Boston talk, Perk. I'm ready.
I just want to know, if you're Boston, who are you rooting for? Do you want to play Minnesota or do you want to play Dallas?
I actually don't think that they care.
I don't think that they care, and I don't think there's a right answer. I think collectively, in my opinion, you would probably want to play Dallas because I think I stand by this. I not from the greatness. Okay, let me phrase this. I think they probably want to play Minnesota. I'm merely stating that the balance of the defense that they have in Minnesota, I think is greater. Dallas's defense has been outstanding. I'm going to give them all the credit. But I still like the amount of defenders that they have against the amount of offensive players, right? Because I like Shea Gildress, I like Ant, I like Jaden McDaniels, I like Conley versus Luka, Kyrie, Derek Jones Jr., and Hardy versus the players from Boston. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like defensively, I see as far as dogs and monsters, they don't want to see Luka and Kyrie. There's a part of them that's like, what Kyrie would give to go into Boston and send those boys home. Oh, that's something. And it's only going to take one person to piss off Luka. And before anybody says anything about, Boston is different, the crowd, you guys should go Google EuroLeague and watch Serbia, Croatia. Like Luka's going to walk in there like that's a pickup game. He won't even notice it. Yeah, the court Kyrie is 14-0 in playoff closeouts.
He was
15-1.
Yeah,
but I'm saying he was 14-0.
Yeah, Luka
11 versus their last games in Boston.
But Luka, he does have beef. Him and Kristaps Porzingis, it's beef there. We just don't.
Oh yeah.
We just don't talk
between those two players. I don't think there's beef with Kyrie and anybody in that roster. I think there's beef with Kyrie and the Boston fans. But I think Kyrie has a good relationship with them. For Porzingis and Luka,
Kyrie fucking stomped on Lucky, and everybody was pissed off.
I forgot about that shit.
He stomped on Lucky. It's beef.
You know the best way to stomp on them is beat them in the postseason.
Ooh, man. Having said that, we are going to run, but I do want to get your thoughts really quick, Perk, because we talked about Jaylen Brown and obviously not getting all NBA, and then he made the comment about the all defensive team. That he was actually more mad that he wasn't on an all defensive team.
I mean, damn. The Celtics, they want the cake, the ice cream, and they want candles on top of the cake. They want it all. Fuck, you can't vote for everybody. So I mean, did
voters get it wrong?
Look, I think did Drew Holiday make all defensive team this year? Okay, yes. And Derek White. Like, that's two guys. If did Anthony Edwards make the all defensive team this year? I don't think he did, right?
Hang on,
I don't think so. And look, Anthony Edwards was 10th in the NBA in opponent's field goal percentage. Like, I understand Jaylen Brown, great. I understand the whole underappreciated, but damn, man, like.
But we have to
Anthony Edwards did not.
But we still have to use it as like in his brain as motivation. This is my thing, and I'll say this about him getting passed up for awards. One, I'm glad he won that award. He got that trophy. He got the Larry Bird trophy. Like, fucking love that for him. That's special. Him and Jason Tatum, right, got it. And then Jason Tatum got it. He got it, and Jimmy Butler got it. Love that for him. He was all NBA last year. That helped him get a $300 million contract. You added 2 All-Stars to your team, and you guys won 60-plus games. So now the awards didn't come in, right? He was still an All-Star this year. He just didn't make All-NBA. But you were All-NBA last year that got you that money. So when I say is this, I don't mind the motivation, but I'm not going to feed into the, poor, woe is me. You've been like a 2-3-time All-NBA player. You've been a 4 or 5-time All-Star. Get to the championship. When you won the awards, but I love the hunger of we want more. Nothing but respect.
Yeah.
Somebody said Channing looking dark and heavy.
I wondered if you.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Channing will be back on Thursday. We will be as well for Game 5 Thursday.
Yeah.
See y'all then.
See y'all then. Like and subscribe, bitches.
Wow.